Our father's caregiver thought she'd won the lottery when Dad got diagnosed with dementia, but she got her biggest karma. 6 months ago, we hired Diane through an agency to help Dad with daily tasks after his mild stroke. He could still walk and talk, but needed help with medications and doctor appointments. My brother Victor and I both worked full-time and needed someone reliable. Diane had glowing references, 15 years of experience, seemed genuinely caring. Dad liked her immediately, said she reminded him of our mother who'd passed 3 years prior. We thought we'd found the perfect solution. Within weeks, Diane started overstepping, rearranged all Dad's furniture without asking, said the feng shui was better for his recovery, threw out Mom's things from the bedroom claiming they were dust collectors affecting his breathing, started cooking elaborate meals and insisting we weren't invited because Dad needed calm dining experiences. When we'd visit, she'd hover constantly, interrupting our conversations to remind Dad to take pills he'd already taken or rest when he wasn't tired. Then came the isolation tactics. She convinced Dad his friends were too exhausting for his heart, told him Victor and I only visited to check on our inheritance, said the neighbors gossiped about him being weak. Within 2 months, Dad barely left his room when we visited, seemed confused and distant. Diane would speak for him, saying he'd had a bad night or wasn't feeling conversational. We tried talking to Dad alone, but Diane always had an excuse why she needed to be present. Said he got agitated without her, might fall, could forget important medical information. 3 months in, Dad started showing serious confusion, couldn't remember our names sometimes, talked about Mom like she was alive, accused us of stealing things that were right in front of him. Diane said the stroke had triggered dementia, that the doctors warned her this might happen. We hadn't heard anything from his doctors, but when we called, they said Diane handled all communications now as Dad's primary caregiver with medical power of attorney. We never authorized that, demanded to see the paperwork, and Diane produced documents with Dad's shaky signature, giving her complete control over his medical decisions. The lawyer said it looked legitimate, that if Dad was competent when he signed it, we couldn't contest it. Diane started limiting our visits to once a week, then every 2 weeks, saying Dad got too confused with too many people around. She moved into the house full-time, said Dad needed round-the-clock care, started calling herself his girlfriend, then fiancé, posting photos on social media of her wearing Mom's jewelry that she'd supposedly thrown away. We tried getting adult protective services involved, but Dad told them he was happy, that Diane took excellent care of him, that his children were jealous of his new relationship. The social worker said there was no evidence of abuse, that Dad seemed well cared for, that older people had the right to make their own choices even if their children disagreed. Last month, Diane announced they were getting married, said Dad had proposed during a moment of clarity, that he didn't want to die alone. The ceremony would be private, immediate family not invited because we'd been so unsupportive. She'd already gotten Dad to sign a new will leaving her everything, saying his children had abandoned him in his time of need. Victor hired a private investigator out of desperation. What he found changed everything. Diane had done this twice before, in different states, targeting elderly men with recent strokes. Both men had developed sudden dementia. Both had married her quickly. Both had died within a year, leaving her everything. The families had suspected foul play, but couldn't prove anything. The investigator also discovered Diane was putting something in Dad's food, had photos of her crushing pills that weren't his prescribed medications. We didn't know what they were, but the investigator said certain combinations of psychiatric drugs could mimic dementia symptoms perfectly. We couldn't go to the police without proof the pills were harmful, and getting Dad tested required Diane's consent as his medical power of attorney. So we got creative. Victor's wife Ellen was a pharmaceutical rep, knew exactly which drug combinations would cause Dad's symptoms. We invited Diane to lunch to discuss the wedding peacefully, said we wanted to apologize and be supportive. While she was gone, Ellen and I searched the house, found the pills hidden in a vitamin bottle in Diane's room. They were antipsychotics mixed with sedatives, exactly what Ellen suspected. We replaced them with identical-looking vitamins, then installed tiny cameras in Dad's room and kitchen. Within 4 days, Dad's confusion started clearing. Full story on channel, link below.